With my own experience, I hired a TC to do that job for me so then I can just continue to focus on making relationship and doing what I'm good at. They might not do the deals with me, but it's all about planting
Got you.
seeds, right? Can you imagine just one phone call? It will change it. It will change your life. They mostly have the clients that can't close and they need a transactional lending. But so I put myself out there as a new gator. As me, if I were to do it again and I have no idea, that's what I would do. I would just,
See.
if the struggle really is.
What's up, Fractionalizers? I'm here with the one and only great Hanna Pine, a transactional lender out in Las Vegas. I'm super excited to have you, Hannah. How you been doing today?
Good. Hi, everyone. I'm Hanna Pine. Like what I said, I'm from Las Vegas and I focus on transactional lending, which is double close and Morby method.
Awesome. And do you guys do EMD as well, earnest money?
We do the EMD soft EMD. So the EMD never leaves the escrow
Yeah,
title
exactly,
company.
exactly. Yeah, we'll get into that why you do that for sure. But yeah, as a
Yeah.
transactional lender, I mean, I kind of dived into that world a little bit myself, but I know I definitely had a lot of struggles. Hannah, what are some of the main struggles either you face that you see other people face that's maybe common as a transactional lender? What's kind of those struggles that you see?
I think the struggle really is the
Yeah.
consistency because there's many ways to get the lead. And this is one of the things that when I take phone calls and I share what I actually do is I use the investor lift. I think a lot of us investors in real estate, we
Mhm.
know that. And we can directly like call the wholesalers there or be friends with them and build relationship with them. And then also title companies. I do a cold
Mhm.
call. So I call them, and usually they'll say, if I were to call them and say, hey, I'm Hannah, I have this money to deploy. If you have any wholesalers that can't close and they know that because they're the ones that's doing their
Mhm.
paperwork, right, or title companies. So usually if I get lucky, then they'll give me their
Yeah.
information, and I like that because then I can just directly call the wholesalers. But usually they'll just go ahead and get my information, but I follow up. So I think the struggle for the newbies that I was is the
Okay.
consistency. And then we're having all kinds of shiny object things. And then I finally said, okay, if I were to just focus on one and I just give my full attention to it, then I will get the results. And that's why I was able to close deals because I focus on one, which is the transactional
Okay, cool,
lending.
cool. So real quick, I want to back investor lift. So how do you exactly utilize like what's investor lift for someone that's never even, you know, never heard of it?
Oh, it's a platform for us, and then you can
Hmm.
sign up for free, and that's where all the wholesalers information are there. So I actually did the
Okay.
harder way because I I used the investor live and be friends with the fix and flip, but I wanted to really be friends and create relationship with the
Uh-huh.
wholesalers. So that kind of use them as a middleman to get to their wholesalers because that's where I do the double close with the
Yeah.
wholesalers. And the reason why I want the investor lift is because it gives you the ability to just filter the states that regulated for wholesalers. So it's a great tool for somebody that's new and somebody like me. I'm still new in the
Cool,
lending
cool.
game.
Yeah, so you literally just go on there, you start and you just start dialing or hitting up these different investors, trying to make new connections, network, and just kind of get
Right.
down in the dirt and make things happen. So that sounds really cool. That goes into your thing about consistency because I've heard that many times. We've all heard things about shiny object syndrome and but yeah, consistency is big. Going in and just showing up every single day. You going in and messaging these different investors, telling them what you do, like, making your name known. Like how is that process? Like how did that go for you? Where you just investors just like, hey, I don't need you, just get out of my DMs, or hey, they're very accepting. Like what was that interaction like for you?
So for me, actually, I have not experienced that get out of my deal because I think they're also I think building their
Hmm.
CRM. So they might not do the deals with me, but it's all about planting
Got you.
seeds, right? And then you just kind of like build that. So that's how I see it, and that's how they probably look at
Yeah.
me as well. So I can't probably assist them with one thing, or they can't assist me with a specific deal that they brought, or it's not in our
Got you.
land box. So with my experience, really the experience that I've had results is the on the Facebook. Oh my gosh, I never knew that
Yeah.
Facebook will give you the lots of impact, because I never believed in it, and I just said like, oh, Facebook. I don't know how it works really, but I put myself out there as a new gator, and it's important to say that you're new in the lending space. I've gotten results in meetups like where I
Yeah.
met you. I'm just fortunate with my W 2. As everybody knows, I still have a W 2 while doing lending on the side. And hopefully, I can go ahead and really just do W 2 on
Hmm.
the side and then focus more, even though I'm doing a lot more in the lending space. So I think there's a lot of, it's very important to show up in the
Yeah.
meetups. And I met many people like you, and the big deals actually that I'm working on is from the actual
Shout out
meetup.
Bash Bros.
Yeah, Bash Bros, Eddie. Yeah. So yeah, that was that. And many, I cannot emphasize it, that it's really important to network there. And I mean, how many times I've gone to Phoenix and to
Yeah.
the Bash Bros, and then until the second time that I went, and that's where I actually got one of my biggest
Right.
deal, in
Cool.
that.
Well, and what deal was that? Like, what did you do? A double close or?
This is a Morby method that we're working
Okay.
on.
You guys are still working on that right now?
Yeah, yeah, we're working on that right now. And then we actually had to extend it because we deploy some of our capital from
Yeah.
another deal in Florida. So that's why we had to extend the closing for this
All right,
deal.
cool, cool. So I know you said you're a newer transactional lender or newer to Gator, but before I go into that, just can you explain a little bit, like a quick, brief summary of what a stack method is or Morby method? I know I
Oh,
get confused
okay.
on it. I mean, if you're able to tell us for us other newbies or other people that don't know,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yes, a stock method or Morby method. It's a DSCR loan and a seller carry. So and then the buyer, most of the time, the borrower doesn't have to bring in his
Yeah.
own money, and that's the beauty of that. So the transactional lender comes in the picture, because what we'll do is we're gonna go ahead. We have a different contract between me and the borrower, and then the borrower has a different contract with DSCR loan, that the DSCR loan that doesn't know that we're funding that, because the seller work is gonna
Uh-huh.
seller carry. So then there's different phase one, phase two, phase three,
All right.
right? So they don't know that we are the one that's giving him the money, and then he pays it back. So that's how quick it is. It can be a day or 3 days, or even it's really short. So that's why we love the Morby method, because our funds stays in the it stays
Yeah, so
soft.
it doesn't go hard, which means that you can still get it back.
Correct, and we have the full control of
Got
the
you,
money.
got you. Cool, cool. Yeah, so yeah, definitely have heard a lot about Stack Method, the benefits of it. Like I said, still not 100% confident to go out and do it myself, but that's why we got people like you. I know you're partnered with some amazing people, which
Right.
I'll ask about here soon. But I just want to, so are newer to Gator, right? New to transactional lending. I mean, did you have prior real estate experience? How did you go from wherever you were to Gator and starting on this path of transactional lending there?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. It's a really great one, because 22, I enrolled myself and bought the mentorship from a different network of real estate, and they do the what pace is called the Red Sea, because it's a buy and hold method, right? And I kind of was there to learn and didn't
Yeah.
really close any deals. And then I kind of just started to, I was just in a season of learning, and then seeing I'm using my own money, right? And then I said, oh, I can't do that, because I won't just use for an investment. So then I found Pace, and then I bought his book. When I bought his book, then I started buying properties creative, and which is the one I brought to you when I met you, which is my Arizona property that I'm trying to turn it into a tracking
Yes.
parking, stop. So that's the one. And then I bought one property, creative finance in California, and I'm trying to do like an RV park on it. And so I'm still not focusing on that until I had a deal. I had to do
Yeah.
underwriting, and then I told you just a cross reference from a while ago. I was doing a cold call, and I was cold calling this list that Pace gave me when I reached out to him because I learned how to use other people's money. So I said, oh my gosh, then I can just use somebody else's for my deal and then do that. So then Pace gave me the list, and then Gabriel's number was there, so that's why he's
Yeah.
now my partner. Can you imagine just one phone call? It will change. It will change it. It will change your life because now I have this relationship with him, and he is my partner in business, and that's off of cold callings. And so it was space that connected me to him, and then so that was in 2024 when I
Yeah.
was needing to learn how to like to use other
Hmm.
people's money, and then Gabriel said to me, "Run from this deal because it's not a good deal." So that's when I asked him a lot of questions outside of that deal, and then I got into Gator in December of 2024. So that's how I got into it, and what I was told, but by my team too here, they do fix and flip and buy and hold, that they think that I went and chose the actual good layer of real estate because there's
Uh-huh.
seven of them, right? But one of them is the lending. So I got into the lending because Gabriel said, "Oh, just try the community and see it for yourself." And because I didn't see that the Burr method is doing anything for me, so I said, "Okay, maybe lending is something that I can do." And then now I'm just really happy and obsessed about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's exactly kind of how I felt when I got into the niche that I'm in now. Just didn't feel right what I was doing before, and finally found that thing. Then I was just like, yeah, this is it. This is what I gotta focus on. Hey, Fractionalizers, sorry to be jumping in the middle of the episode like this, but before we dive back into the pod, I want to let you know how today's sponsors are changing the game. First off, Fractionalize, your go-to fractional real estate community that not only helps you build wealth through real estate, but helps you build, diversify, and scale your portfolio with as little as $250. Now, these aren't just your average real estate properties. These are vetted with institutional experience. So whether you're an experienced investor wanting to scale your portfolio, a high income earner wanting to protect and grow your wealth, maybe someone wanting to grow their retirement account, maybe even retire early, or a new investor wanting to start their portfolio with a strong foundation, the Fractionalized community was created just for you. Now, wholesalers, do you need fast, reliable transactional funding for EMD, double closes, or stack method transactions? Well, our sponsor, Wealthy Pine Capital, has got you covered. Owned and operated by Hanna Pine herself, her services ensure that your deal goes through smoothly. And if you refer a wholesaler to her, you can earn an extra $500 in cash. And that's enough to invest through Fractionalize and have extra cash in your pocket. Now, all the details are going to be in the description below, so don't miss out. Be a part of the equation. Now, let's get back to the episode. What was that book that you read of Pace's?
It's called the Wealth
Wealth Without
Without
Cash. That's
Cash.
right.
So buy it,
Yeah,
guys.
that's cool. Love
Wealth
it.
Without Cash. Yeah, so that's the book that I got, and then actually before I even started buying my properties through creative finance, the real deal that I first closed, I didn't get paid from it, but Gabriel told me it's okay, you planted a seed. It was actually similar to Pace's 50 situation. I have a friend that's needing to, like, I don't know if it was actually going to be repoed because she had a business for Turo, like with
Okay.
Turo, and her partner didn't show up anymore. And she said, "Oh my gosh, Hannah, I need to sell this car. Do you know anybody that would take over the payments because I have this children that I'm paying the tuition fee, and then I can't pay for this." So then she was not familiar with what I was doing at Pace. I mean, I didn't do it yet at this time. I just know that I read it from the book and I watched his video. And then I said, I I have a friend, I have a coworker that has a great job and makes the good money, and but she doesn't have the credit
Yeah.
score. I think if you want to look at this option, it would help you, and I can vet them for I can vet her for you, because one of our coworkers as well, if she's renting a house from one of our coworkers. So I just asked, like, her background with her payment, and then that's kind of went down like that. And then she said, "Oh, I have no choice anymore. I think I have to go with your suggestion, and we'll take that." So, and then now they're still doing that because it just happened last year of
That's
February.
cool. So your first like creative deal or
Yeah.
experience was with your friend in her car. That's great. Yeah, that's really cool. Heck
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It translates to different industries, so that's really awesome. Learning that skill
Yes.
set you can use a lot
Mm-hmm.
of different places. So really really cool. Yeah, and then I you mentioned Gabriel, and I met Gabriel. He's freaking awesome. He's killing it. He's doing like
Yes.
the Saturday Zooms, for everyone, totally free to join, and hang out, learn from them. You said that you went ahead, you got a list from Pace, right? And I'm assuming those were different
Yeah.
lenders that people that had capital that you could use for deals, right? And so you found Gabriel, you made
Right.
that cold call that you had no clue what was going to come of it. It could have been just no one answered, but he ended up answering. You guys start talking. How did you guys? I see you guys at the meetup. You come there from Vegas down to Arizona all the time. So I mean, how did that that partnership and that relationship like build, and like what do you guys do right now together?
Yeah, so right now, so basically, again, it's we do the double
Uh-huh.
close and Morby method, and yeah, that relationship, like I said from earlier, I called him, and a first call actually is just, hey, he answered, hey, I'm in a meeting, or he's doing something, let me call you back, and I said, oh my gosh, he's probably not gonna call me, let me move on. So I'm gonna be moving on, so I'm calling and calling, and then he called me back, and then that's when he just, oh, he explained it to me. He even explained to me how to form my LLC in that short time, and then we finally met in person and did the underwriting. And then so it kind of it I believe that it started building the trust right there for me and for him, because I showed up. I was making sure, I made sure that I will show up, because he said, okay, I can meet you up at this time. And then from that time, I asked him questions, and then I met him again after we met in restaurant in PF Chang's, actually, when we were
Cool.
underwriting it, or he was underwriting it. And then I met him again on a meetup here in Vegas. And then from that time, I was just asking him questions about other stuff, which is still real estate related. And then he finally pointed me to the Gator. And then now he told me what he's doing, which is the double close and Morby method. And then I went to Phoenix. I met somebody there, many people actually. And then he brought me a deal. And then I introduced him to Gabriel and to my partner now, Gabriel. And he said, oh, okay, that's something that I can do, which is a Morby method. And we're working on this. And this is actually, it's a North Carolina deal. And like I said a while ago, it's something that we had to extend because we actually deployed some other money to our deals that we're
Right.
working on too. So we do the proof of funds. If you are a seller, I mean a buyer, and you just needed money to show the seller that you have that money, but you're actually getting the money,
Yeah.
the real money from other ones, because ours is soft. It won't leave the title company. So yeah, so that's what we did. We did that couple times now already, so that's like $1 million deal. So that's what it yeah, so that's what we are doing, and that's what he does in Monday to
That's
Friday.
that's awesome. So one like you said, one cold call, one reach out, and you guys are doing deals now together. A Morby method. Have you done a
Yes.
double close yet?
No, not the double close yet, because every time I do the double close, then the wholesaler said, "Oh, I just ended up using my own
Huh,
money." And I said, "That's fine, but it's always just like a big deal." So usually a big deal that I'm doing is
got
Morby
it.
method, and a proof of funds is what I'm currently getting from
Got
the
you.
leads. Yeah, that those are my
Got you.
leads.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome. Well, cool. So Going into leads, talking about leads, I know personally I had a hard time finding leads as when I was doing transactional lending, and I hear a lot of other transactional lenders talk about they can't find leads. I know people talk about, having a good presence on social media, that attracts leads. I know you briefly have told me before, a couple different ways to find leads. You talked about investor lift, reaching out to people there, that brings you leads. I mean, so for a new transactional lender or struggling transactional lender, like they really want to, amp up their business, get things really going, get the fire started. Like, how should they go out, or first some advice or tips to go out and find leads for transactional lending, for double closes, Morby method, EMD, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I think if they wanted to just start, and I'm doing this program like that, I'm doing a referral, right? It's $500 if you bring me a deal with a Morby method and double close, and you don't have to underwrite it. You just have to be out there. And again, it would be like you calling the title companies if you have, mostly have the clients that can't close and they need a transactional lending. So I have that linked. Actually gonna either send it to you so you can send it to your community that they can do that too as a new transactional lending, or to dive in is to call those companies, and then investor lift, and then put yourself out there on Facebook
Yep.
and go on the meetups, go in the meetups and say, hey, I am partner with lenders, network of lenders that have the capital, and we can assist you. And as me, if I were to do it again and I have no idea, that's what I would do. I would just, if somebody's offering me $500, I don't have to do the underwriting or verifying the borrower and the title, like whoever title companies that they're using, if they're legit to actually put our money in it. If you don't want to do that and you want to just kind of like learn and still make the money, I would do the 500
100%.
referrals.
So
That's what I would
get out
do.
there, just,
Yeah.
talk to people, network. There's no like secret sauce
Talk.
someone's not telling
Yes.
us that we.
There's no secret sauce. Unfortunately, I thought there was, but there isn't. There isn't. Like this is something that I didn't have to, or that you don't have to invent the wheel or create
Uh-huh.
a wheel, right? Like you just kind of like do what other people's done. And obviously, I'm new to this, and I just basically told you what I did. I mean, this is, I can only share you or with you guys my own experience. I actually did cold calling, and now I don't do a lot of that, but I still
Yeah,
do phone calls. But they
they call
call me
you now.
now, and people bring me. Yes, they call me now and they bring me deals.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
awesome. And yeah, like you said, you're doing the $500 referral. So it's like that's another great way for you to get leads. Is just, if you have more people that are out there, working for you, fucking leads for you, then that's definitely a good lead flow for you. But also that's a little bit of extra
Yes.
cash for other people, right?
Yes, and they can start
Yeah, I mean,
investing.
exactly. They can start investing. That's what I'm going to actually mention to my community after I publish this podcast. I'm gonna let them know, like, hey, Hanna Pine has a great referral program, $500, which is the minimum for our platform for a fractional real estate is only $250. So being able to work with you, have
Wow.
more people, more eyes out there, more ears out there, being able to send you leads, make some extra cash, invest into real estate, earn long-term wealth. So that's really the whole idea with fractional real estate. But they can earn some cash and maybe learn some things from you today, and start their own transactional lending business, or like you said, just send you the leads, make some cash, not having to do anything, not having to deal with underwriting or anything like that, which is real simple. You hear that someone has a lead, needs funding for it, you come to you, easy right there.
Yes, you got it. That 500 referral is actually, it's a form of lead generation, and it's amazing because like I said, I can't emphasize this enough. You don't have to vet the borrower. You're just bringing me the deal and their deal, and you don't have
Yeah,
to underwrite it. And if it closes, then you get your $500. Imagine doing that in a week. You have like deals like this, or you have like, you connected with people and you just bring them to me, then you got your
yeah.
500. You can make 5,000
Yeah,
in a month.
exactly. Easy peasy. 10 deals a month. Just throw them your
Yeah.
way. And if you find a couple people that consistently do deals, like then it's just recurring, right? Recurring income there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, and it's a great passive income because then they keep just going back
Uh-huh.
to you, or sometimes if you become more of a engaged to it, not just referring
Mhm.
them to me, and you want to be actually facilitating the calls and Zoom, then you can actually get more than
Yeah,
500. You can have a 1 point off of that transaction, like the amount that
that they're
they're
being
they're
funded.
needing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Get it
Yeah,
into yourself and even make even more money from it. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly.
right.
Just start small, start working with people that, are already doing the thing
Baby
like
step.
you were, start being around people that you're looking, up to or want to, start having successful business like them. So yeah, that's great. And you mentioned about they don't have to vet the borrower or vet the deal, but I know as a being the lender and having taken care of that transaction, vetting the deal, vetting the borrower, protecting the money so that it stays soft and it can be refundable, or it doesn't go hard. Like what's some of the things you're looking for when you're vetting a deal, or like how do you protect your money exactly, or your investors' money?
So what we do is, me personally, and I can only again tell you, is I hire a trusted
Hmm.
TC that will do the real vetting for me because it's a lot of work. And for me, and I learned
Hmm.
this from Pace. If you are somebody that's just like a visionary, right, and then you're like you want to
Go
scale,
go go.
and those are important, the
Yeah.
vetting, right? But you want to have that TC or the person that knows what they're doing to vet that borrower, their LLC, the title company, even the attorney. You want to vet them, and the business. So with my own experience, I hired a TC, a transactional coordinator, to do that job for me, so then I can just continue to focus on making relationship and getting more deals for us, and doing what I'm good at, which is hanging out with people. So that's what I do. And then on that underwriting side, because it's our
Yeah.
money, right, with Gabriel's, so it's because he wants to protect our capital partners, then he does also
Hmm.
the vetting on behind the scene, and then he underwrites it. Although we have, like, if it's a big Morby method and big deal, then we have like a different team of underwriters to
Great,
do
great. So
that.
you work with the right people. You have a good team. Like we were saying, you
Right.
surround yourself with the right people that have the experience. You're a go
Yes.
getter. You're gonna go out there. You talk to people. Get them to let them know that hey, this is what we're doing, and we're doing it efficiently. We're doing it fast. We're gonna make sure we get the deal done. As long as all you have to do is bring us a good deal, we'll make it happen. So that's freaking awesome. Sounds great. So have a good team that knows what they're doing. Another before we start, wrap this up soon. I wanted to ask you. So one, I know I've heard you're like one of the greatest connectors out there. I mean, you talk to a lot of people. Literally saw that on a I think it was Instagram. Someone was like, Hanna Pine is the greatest connector. You got to know who she is. You need something, she's the one to go to. Was how'd you become known as the greatest connector out there?
Like I said, I was that one of the biggest deal is in Florida, and it was an absolutely stranger in the outside of the community, that when I introduced myself on Facebook and I built relationship with this person, and then she brought me the deal. So when he said that, it's because he was actually in the deal with us. Also, the person that introduced me that is because I built that relationship from December up until on April, and from that we built the trust, and then that's why we were able to fund it. So that's, I think, being a great connector. I can't really call myself like that because I'm still
I
new.
think you're awesome. We think
That's what they
yeah.
gave me. But like I said, being out there, and I believe that you just go out there yourself, and I don't think I have to try hard. I am there. I'm
Yeah.
myself. I say I still have my W-2. This is what I'm doing, and I have this money lending power, and I can do that.
Yeah.
Me and my team, actually, not me. I'm not a myself or me. It's a
Yeah.
team made for
100%.
me.
Awesome, awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, you're getting it done. You're getting it done. But yeah, you're definitely a great connector. Oh,
Thank
like you
you,
said, you're
thank
always
you.
out there talking to people, making it happen, figuring out what do people need and how can you help them. So that's a great trait that you have. Always trying to figure out how can you help other people, and that's the way to make money in real estate. How can I help you? And if you be able to solve their
Yes.
problem, give them a solution. That's ultimately creates income, not just for you but for them too, because that's what we're here to do: help each other grow and make some money. um yeah. So um what was one more thing? I know, and it's a little off topic, so it's a little different from transactional lending, but I know you mentioned it that you were turning was it your property into a like a trucking parking lot? And just
Yeah, it
because
is.
I'm in fractional real estate, I know you were doing that on the fractional platform, but you're doing like that type of method. Like, how did you end up doing? How did that work out? Like, how are you? What's the process, or where is that at right now?
So right now the property is in Arizona, and of course the reason why I have not focused on it is because I'm still like I'm
No.
so focused in doing my transactional lending. But the vision for that, I actually found out about it when I attended one of the meetups, and then this guy is doing this. I was originally gonna do solar
Okay.
power on that. So now, and then I found out this tracking stuff is great because it's really just a dirt, and then you're having people rent your space for
Yeah.
X amount of money monthly. So it's a passive income. And then I found out, I attended Pace's class, and then I met, what's her name? Stella, that she has the
Uh,
fractional, and that I can go ahead and raise money from there. That is something that I'm not really familiar, but I think you
yeah.
are. So maybe you can help me and guide me on how to actually walk me through and doing the
Yeah, 100%.
fractional.
I can definitely help you. I'm more of the capital raiser in the operation, but I'm learning more about fractional real estate and how it works. Obviously, it differs from platform to platform or from team to team, because really, it's really who's going and acquiring the property, who's the team that's actually getting this deal done, and then how's the actual deal. So there's different components of it, for reasons why an investor wants to invest into a property using fractional real estate. But yeah, I can definitely help break it down for you a little bit, make it a little bit easier for you. Would definitely love you to be part of our community, Fractionalize. That would be really cool. Not just because it's fractional real estate, but really just trying to build a community of people, of professionals that are trying out there trying to help other people. Community does have W-2 employees. Some people are trying to make their way, wholesaling, transactional lending, whatever the case is. But just having more of the surrounded by the people that are all trying to uplift each other and hit similar goals, and that's what we're really all about. But yeah, so, and going back to you being a connector, and how can people go out and connect with you, Hannah? Because you're someone that should be in everyone's network 100%. I
Thank
know I've
you.
seen some like company names on, I don't know, on your Instagram or your Blink car or something like that. I saw like Health Wealthy Pine Capital. I like that name there. But yeah, how can people go out and
Thank
connect
you.
with you? Like, where's the best place?
Oh, you can connect with me on my Instagram. It's really easy. It's Hanna.Pine on my Instagram. And then on my Facebook, it is just Hanna Pine, and you'll see it. Yes, my one of my companies is Wealthy Pine Capital. I use that company to actually deploy the money that I'm doing with lending as well. And then I have my actual other LLC, or my company, which is the HB 88 Ventures, where people can submit their
Got
funding
it. Got it.
requests.
Awesome. Awesome. And when a wholesaler is coming to you needing funds for whatever type of deal, just so they're aware, like what's like to go to you, what do they need? What do they say? Do they just call you? Do they just message you, DM you? Like, what's that process look like so they're familiar?
Yeah, usually they can DM me if they don't have my phone number, obviously. And then from that communication, I usually would give my phone number and email address so they can send me their deal and the deal summary. And then we look at it. And then we're going to keep the ball rolling when we know that it's something that we can
All right.
assist them.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. Great. So yeah, definitely follow her. over on Instagram and on Facebook. I really appreciate you, Hannah. You're absolutely amazing. I really
Thank
appreciate you,
you.
and I look forward to seeing you at more of the meetings. Maybe doing some deals together. Work on this fractional real
Yes.
estate together. Yeah, guys, don't forget she has a promotion for $500 if you bring here any type of transactional lending deal and it closes. You can have $500, which you can do anything with, but I would invest it in fractional real estate. Yeah, everyone,
Yes.
thank you for watching. It was a pleasure, Hannah. And remember now, you can be a part of the equation.
Thank you.